Now, Minister of Transport Barbara Creecy says she's confident that the Cape Town container terminal is ready for the upcoming fruit export season. Visiting the terminal, Creecy says the investment in the Rubber Tyre Gantry cranes, ship-to-shore tensioners and over 3,000 refrigeration plug points will make a huge impact on the turnaround times at the port.
Minister of Transport Barbara Creecy says the department is confident of a good season for the deciduous fruit industry in terms of the Cape Town port and its capacity to manage the volumes coming through this port. Today, Minister is visiting the container terminal. Minister, very warm good day to you. If you can just join me over here, you say that you have extreme confidence that this upcoming deciduous fruit industry season is not going to be similar to the one experienced 2 years ago. Let us backtrack, because we know that the Port of Cape Town has experienced quite a bit of troubles, located in a city that's very windy over the November-December season. And also there have been issues around the turnaround times for trucks as well as for containers. Let us start with what we see behind us, because I see you've spoken quite a bit about these rubber tyre gantries. First and foremostly, what are they and how do they assist in operations at the Port of Cape Town?
So these beautiful babies that you see behind me help us with stacking and unstacking containers once they have been taken off the ship-to-shore cranes, which are also behind me. And what we found in the past was that the rubber tyre gantries that we had were extremely old. We had a shortage of parts. They had not been properly maintained. And so we were dealing with a situation of constant breakdowns and right at the height of the season having to repair these pieces of equipment so that we could move the refrigerated containers on and off the ships. So these new pieces of equipment are already improving performance time here at the port. What we are finding is the trucks are spending an average of 40 minutes in and out of the port as opposed to 60 minutes, which was the situation last year. What we can also tell you is, compared with 2023, ships like the one behind me were spending 200 hours in and out of the port. We are now at 60 hours. Our target is 50 hours, which is more or less 2 days. And that really is the international benchmark in terms of the time it should take for a ship to come into port and then leave again.
Minister, I know that we've heard earlier on that there are 9 of these RTGs that are currently in use at the port. I understand that 9 more will come on board within the first week of November and then 10 more in mid-January. What is the significance then? I mean, you're talking about the deciduous fruit industry and you're talking about the exports and you're talking about the value chain from farmer to the port and to the international market. What then is the importance of having this huge investment in this equipment at the port in terms of that value chain?
Well, I think what we know is that the agricultural sector in this country supports thousands, tens of thousands of jobs. We also know that the logistics sector is a major employer. Now, if you have a situation where the end product can't actually reach the international destination because equipment is breaking down, there's wind, you can't operate during windy conditions, what will happen is that the fruit will rot on the dock. When that happens, the farmer doesn't get paid, the workers can't get paid, and next year becomes a whole nother story. So it's really incumbent on us to be making sure that produce, once it's produced, can reach international markets so that the value of that product can be realized. And, one of the other factors that caused enormous problems and will cause problems this year as well is wind. We all know that here in the summer you get the southeaster. When the southeaster blows, in the past we had a difficulty because the cranes behind me can operate in 90 kilometer an hour winds, but the old RTGs could only operate at 70 km/h winds. These new RTGs can operate also at 90 km/h winds, so they are compatible with our cranes. And so when the wind gets up here, we can make sure that we can still operate. Of course, there will be days when it goes over 90 km/h. Then obviously we will have to take mitigating measures. And what we are doing is we're using our back of port. So we bring the trucks in, we unload at Belcon. We will then, once the wind stops, we'll put the containers onto the train and bring them in. We can also divert cargo to the general container, the general freight port, which is less affected by wind, and if we absolutely have to, we can also divert to the Eastern Cape. So there is a whole plan in place. We are meeting twice a week with the fruit producers and also with the logistics sector to plan for this very important season, and we are confident that we can handle all kinds of difficulties.
Minister, you call these your babies. Let us just talk about the total investment, just to wrap up, in terms of what we've seen with the new RTGs, as well as you were talking about at the reefer site. I'm not sure if that's the right terminology being used, but you're talking about a few thousand refrigeration points. Explain that to us, and then also what this total investment in this port has been.
Well, the reefer plug points, which is where you plug in the refrigerated container so that the fruit remains at the right temperature, we've got 3,200 of those plug points. We are bringing in 4 generators, so we will then create another 400 more. And I'm pleased to say that the private sector has also come to the party. Grunrod has put up 250 plug points, and Maersk is increasing their plug points from 250 to 400. So we really have a lot of plug points, and that of course is important if there's wind, so that you keep the fruit fresh. Over the last couple of years, TNPA has invested 4 billion in new equipment. This would include these RTGs, but also other equipment, haulers, straddles, the new cranes that we saw a week ago in the port of Durban. And there are plans to invest another 3.5 billion in the ports in the year that lies ahead of us.
Mr. Creecy, thank you so much for your time. Of course, the Minister Barbara Creecy, Minister of Transport, visiting the Cape Town container terminal today, just ahead of the start of the deciduous fruit export industry, and giving the thumbs up in terms of the equipment as well as the readiness of this port to manage those exports.